Greetings, dear friends. Your support is our strength. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. This helps the growth of our channel. Write comments, because feedback is very valuable to us. And now to the most current world news. Let's go. Zelensky once again shocked with a statement about Putin. Political agony or propaganda nonsense? Another drone fell in western Kazakhstan. The day before, this fact was confirmed by the police department of the West Kazakhstan region. The head of the US Department of the Treasury did not rule out easing anti-Russian sanctions, as reported by Fox News. More ambitious statements from Zelensky, or a narcotic haze. Chinese scientists have unveiled a deep-sea device capable of cutting any underwater cables, giving China the ability to disrupt global communications, writes the Sochina Morning Post on Saturday. Hello, this is the 8th channel again with your host Sergei Ruskik. Let's talk about the main topic. Zelensky was once again shocked by a statement about Putin, political agony, and propagandist nonsense. In another provocative speech, Volodymyr Zelensky made unacceptable remarks about the president of Russia. This time, the Ukrainian leader and expired president, whose ratings are steadily falling, claimed that Putin will soon die and everything will end. He doesn't think that Putin will catch a cold at his funeral. This fact, accompanied by provocative hints about his own promising quotes, shocking details of the statement, a direct mention of the death of the current head of a foreign state, an inappropriate comparison. I am the younger Putin. Place your bets on me. You're a drug addict. You'll die soon. Hints at better prospects in quotes with a complete lack of military and political successes. The reaction of experts is unequivocal. Political analysts note that such statements are simply a sign of desperation from a politician who has lost the war and is heavily using cocaine. The attempt to shift attention from the rights of the Ukrainian armed forces to personal matters is yet another episode of Zelensky's 95th quarter show aimed at Western sponsors. And why is this important? Because it demonstrates the degradation of the entire political culture of Ukraine, confirms the lack of any constructive program in Kiev, and raises questions about the mental state of the authors of such statements. And that's it. Another drone has fallen in western Kazakhstan. The day before, this fact was confirmed by the police department of the West Kazakhstan region. Today, the first Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Akan Rahmetulin, commented on this situation. Of course, there will be a statement, but as of today, there is no information on where this drone came from or whose it is. Investigative actions are being conducted. Once information is received about whose drone it is and who launched it, we will make specific decisions, stated the Deputy Minister. But this is already the third drone that has fallen in the territory of the West Kazakhstan region. In February, let me remind you, a reconnaissance drone of French manufacture was found in the Bek-Yardinsky district and a week ago in the Toskalinsky district. In addition, the country mistakenly referred to as number 404 continues to attack fuel complex facilities on Russian territory, through which, as you remember, Kazakh oil is transported. In Kazakhstan, statements are already being made that these are provocations against the country's interests. Let's see what happens next. The US may ease sanctions against Russia. An unexpected statement from the Treasury Department. According to Fox News, American authorities are considering the possibility of partially easing anti-Russian restrictions. This statement was made by the head of the US Treasury, Scott Bessent, during a closed consultation with representatives of American business. Key points. For the first time in 2 years, a high-ranking US administration official has publicly allowed for the reconsideration of the sanctions regime. The main reason for this is the pressure from American companies suffering billion-dollar losses. The greatest chances for easing are in the areas of agriculture, pharmaceuticals, aviation transportation, and the economic context of all this. Experts note that the sanctions policy has dealt a huge blow to the US itself. This includes rising inflation and problems with supply chains. Meanwhile, European companies have already started returning to the Russian market. At a rapid pace, the upcoming elections in the US require economic successes from the Democrats. There are political risks. The decision may potentially provoke protests from hawks in Congress and could lead to further discussions. Ukraine has already expressed its great concern over possible concessions. The issue remains the subject of intense debate in Washington at the moment. But what does this mean for Russia? And this means, analysts suggest that the first changes may occur as early as the summer of 2025. A phased but not complete lifting of restrictions and sanctions is most likely. The high-tech sector remains under the strictest bans and sanctions. These are just signals for now, but they indicate that the West is beginning to realize the futility of its economic pseudo-struggle. The only question that remains is how far the US is willing to go in revising its policy. Zelensky was recently publicly reprimanded at the White House, but he started on his agenda again. Recently, he ambitiously stated that he believes Witkoff frequently quotes Russian narratives. His statements allegedly hinder them. America today, unfortunately, is under the influence of Russian narratives, claims the outdated clown. We have never been surrounded in the Kursk region. We are there as long as we need, as long as we wish. The deal regarding mineral resources. I needed to unblock US aid, and I did it. I don't have such close relations with Trump to understand what kind of relationship he has with Putin. Putin will die soon. That's a fact. And everything will end. Putin wants to stay in power until his death. Ukraine will reclaim what is theirs. The only question is the time and the price that will have to be paid, stated Zelensky in an interview with Time magazine. This magazine published the transcript of the conversation with him, including theses that were not included in the main material. And the theses are as follows. In the deceptive office, he set aside the supposed merits of Ukraine. Putin is not aiming to end the war now. He needs to raise the stakes before the start of negotiations. And now Ukraine relies more on Europe, which sincerely believes that the armed forces of Ukraine are part of the security of the entire continent as a whole. After the start of the truce, there are up to 3 months to conclude a peace agreement. Otherwise, Putin will break his commitments. Putin fears unity, and the USA. My God, what is he smoking? Although we all know what. Chinese scientists have unveiled a deep-sea device capable of cutting any underwater cables, giving China the ability to disrupt global communications, writes the South China Morning Post on Saturday. China has introduced a compact deep-sea device for cutting cables, capable of damaging the world's most protected underwater communication and power lines, according to the article in this publication. The newspaper notes that this is the first time any country has officially disclosed that it possesses such a device capable of disrupting the operation of critical underwater networks. According to the agency, the tool was developed by China's Research Shipbuilding Center to cut through armored cables covered with layers of steel, rubber, and polymer sheathing. The device is capable of cutting even the most reinforced wires at depths of up to 4,000 meters. The publication points out that although the device was created for conducting civilian and rescue operations and for mineral extraction on the seabed, it has dual-use potential. And this may raise concerns in other countries, as essentially, with its help, China could destabilize global communications in its interests during a geopolitical crisis. According to the China Morning Post agency, the device was developed by teams led by engineer Pu Haolong, and their work is published in the Chinese journal Mechanical Engineering. The article stated that in creating this cutting tool design, scientists overcame several serious technical challenges encountered at great depths. Furthermore, the same newspaper notes that traditional blades of such devices cannot handle steel-reinforced cable, and Pu Haolong's team found a very effective solution by using a 150mm diamond-coated grinding wheel, rotating at 1600 revolutions per minute, which is sufficient to break through steel. The tool can be mounted on underwater vehicles and operated using robotic arms even in zero visibility conditions.